This week's episode is brought to you by Body Scare. All natural body care products so good, they're scary.
What's going on?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Zompire Horde podcast proudly brings to you its goddamn good-ass host team of the world, the badass Patty Krueger. Goddamn, I already fucked it up. The badass Michelle of the Dead, and your host with the most, Vladdy Von Krugenstein. And if you don't like it, we got 2 words for you. Suck it.
Suck it.
There you go. Kind of buffed that up a little bit there, but at least I got it back on track. What is up, guys?
How is it going? Happy Monday, everyone.
Michelle, I heard you worked 10 hours today. So I went out and I got you a bottle. I stole it from Nancy Thompson, a little bit of Hypnosil. So tonight you don't have any nightmares while you're getting to your beauty rest for work tomorrow. So I got that bottle for you.
I definitely need that drug so that I don't dream while I'm sleeping.
This bottle is from the 80s, so it's probably expired. You might get high, you might fall asleep, or you might die. I don't know,
or it might not do anything.
It might not do. Well, as we know from Wolf of Wall Street, when they took the pills, they were like a late reaction. So who knows what's going to happen?
Oh, hold on a second.
Is that Jason Voorhees of Friday the 13th fame?
Wait a second. Wait a second. Hey, my dude, I think you're in the wrong franchise right now.
Actually.
Aren't we talking about Friday the 13th tonight?
Well, kind of, in a way.
Yeah, that's what I was geared up for.
This is why we're talking about Friday the 13th tonight. And Michelle, you may not be aware of this. We're going to be giving away an 8x10 autograph tonight from Freddy vs. Jason.
Oh, shit. What are we doing?
Giving away an autograph.
Signed by Ken Kersinger.
But it's from Freddy vs. Jason. Signed by Ken Kersinger. He played Jason. And this is an episode about Freddy, but the two kind of,
Jason. I'm going to be really quiet. Jason's really quiet.
So listen, what we're going to do is at some point in this episode, I'm going to drop a trivia question down below. And then the first person who answers it in the comments will win that autograph.
In the comments?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Roland says, hey, y'all. I have a fun fact about Freddy's sweater.
Oh, let's hear it.
What is your fun fact? We need to know. But yes, tonight we are talking about Nightmare on Elm Street, the franchise.
And Freddy Krueger.
Is this the right prop?
There you go. Attaboy.
I knew I would get it right eventually. Ooh, yours
mine's in the box.
I don't know. Mine's not movie quality, but that's okay.
Well,
here we go.
Either. I don't even think this is Spirit Halloween quality.
This is what mine is.
Mine's NECA, but it's in the box. I didn't want to disturb my look.
Oh.
So I wore the hat. But Melissa says Wes Craven chose red and green as Freddy's sweater because those colors together are supposed to make people the most uncomfortable. And I can tell you from experience, Christmas is the most uncomfortable time of the year.
Well, here. I'm wearing my Freddy socks. Does this make you uncomfortable?
I would just like to point out that sweater fact that Melissa just threw out was literally the only fact that I had tonight to share with everybody, and Melissa shared it. So I have nothing for tonight's episode. So I'm just going to be worthless now because my fact is
you have a magnificent beard, so you can sit there and look gorgeous.
There you go.
See?
I mean, I could never be Jason Voorhees, though, because my beard sticks out the bottom of the mask, and everybody will know who the fuck I am. Like, is that Patrick? Hello, Facebook user.
Oh, my God.
So I have a question. 1984 is when the original Nightmare on Elm Street came out. I was 7 years old. As I was telling Patty Krueger earlier, I was fortunate enough to have a mom or 87, I'm sorry, I was 10. 84, I was 7 because I saw Hellraiser. 84. My mom, I was cool and had a cool mom that took me to see Nightmare on Elm Street in the theater. And although that wouldn't technically, I saw Gremlins first, which is a horror movie in the theater. But
it's
anyway,
a Christmas horror movie too.
Christmas horror movie. I got to see Nightmare on Elm Street in the theater, so I got to experience that. Where were you guys introduced to Old Glove Hand?
I was kind of a late bloomer. I think it was in high school. You know, when you get together with your friends and watch scary movies and sneak alcohol.
Was that back in like the block
80s, the late 80s?
Well, 84.
Yeah.
So like,
so it was
rented
so
it.
I graduated in 91, so it was like right in that time.
Gotcha. Yeah. What about you, Patty Krueger?
I was an early bloomer for horror movies. I love Patty Krueger. Patty Krueger,
it feels very safe.
Patty Krueger, it's going to be so cool. And then I seen your name, Vladdy von Krugenstein, and I was like, my name is worthless. Like, you can't beat Vladdy von Krugenstein.
Yeah, but dude, your real name is pretty freaking awesome.
My real name?
Yeah.
Patrick von Smithenstein.
I mean, that's right up there with Vladdy von Krugenstein.
To answer your question, I was an early bloomer to horror. I started watching horror, early on in life, like 10, 12, somewhere in there. I don't remember exactly. But I was a late bloomer to Nightmare on Elm Street. And I've been a late bloomer with all of Nightmare on Elm Street. I love Robert Englund. I love Wes Craven, but I just haven't. That franchise, I don't hate it. It just doesn't sit. It's not in my top 10 things to watch. So when the new movies come out, or when they came out in the past, I never watched them right away. I didn't, hustle out to the theater to see the new Nightmare on Elm Street. So I've always been a late bloomer with that franchise. But like I said, I don't hate it. Just not my top.
I think one of the things that always drew me in about it was like the comedic overtones, which they did try to suppress in part 2, but pretty much that's who Robert Englund is, kind of how he always portrayed Freddy. So that was kind of the thing I always appreciated about him. But probably, I mean, like other than maybe Chucky, one of my least favorite of the slashers, you know what I mean, from that era.
Yeah.
Not because, I mean, it was a very original idea having a character who wasn't silent, because before that you had, there wasn't really anybody other than like Norman Bates, but when you think of like 80s slashers, like Myers never said nothing, Voorhees never said nothing, Leatherface never said nothing. So to have, Freddy Krueger, Robert Englund come in and actually have a personality, I thought was a cool way to bring like a different element in to that character. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It made him more dislikable. Hey, Ryan, how's it going? Yay, Ryan's here.
As if being a child molester wasn't, like sour
creepy enough. Yeah. It wasn't my favorite franchise just because I wasn't a huge fan of the character Freddy. But that being said, I've only seen 5 of them. And what is there, like 9?
Yeah, there's 9 total.
Yeah, how dare you only see 5 of them?
I know. How dare I? But I can talk about the 5 that I've seen. So I have
all 3 of us are very tattooed. I have a Freddy Krueger tattoo, which I preemptively uploaded.
Oh, look at you!
Because I wasn't going to show
my good
thigh.
One.
But on the thigh, it actually, in little cut marks, it says "Welcome to Prime Time, Bitch," which is a line.
Nice.
3, blah, 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 help me out. What's 3 called? Dream Warriors.
Dream Warriors. We're the Dream Warriors.
Collectively everybody's favorite.
No more.
Like if you take a poll throughout the world, Dream Warriors tends to be everybody's favorite. Nightmare on Elm Street.
I don't know, man. I kind of like the
Freddy's Dead, because of the comedic value in Freddy's Dead. Like you mentioned comedic value earlier, and he's comedy throughout the whole franchise, except for like the first one. He's pretty dark and serious in the first one, but as the franchise moves on and on and on and on and on and on, you get to 6, Freddy's Dead, and I kind of think they just kind of threw the whole horror element out the window in that one. It's like, we're just gonna make a fucking comedy. And I actually really liked it. It's fucking goofy and it's completely different than the rest of the franchise. Freddy rides a broomstick and pretends to be the Wicked Witch of the East in that movie.
See, I have not seen that one.
What were you saying, Michelle?
Oh, I don't remember now. It was like something he said triggered something.
One of the things about part 6, and let me pull up her name. But one of the things about part 6 I thought was actually really cool when I was doing research for this was Freddy's Nightmare. That was a television series.
New Nightmare.
But the woman who directed part 6, she actually worked with on Crybaby and I think Polyester and Pink Flamingos. And if you know me, I'm a huge John Waters fan.
Yeah.
And apparently on that, when they were filming that, a lot of the crew, special effects and stuff like that were from John Waters movies. And in that opening scene when he's on the airplane, and there's a woman next to him, and there's some weird. That was actually supposed to be Divine, the drag queen, sitting there, but Divine had actually died a few weeks prior to the start of filming.
Crazy!
That mixed with the kind of the storyline of it, Freddy has now come into the real world, and he's actually attacking these actors, who were just in the original movie. I thought was a genius idea, because right before that was Freddy's dead, and so there weren't supposed to be any more Freddy movies. Yeah. And so what an interesting and creative way to bring them back to life, you know what I mean, by having them actually terrorize people in the real world. And I believe Wes Craven said that idea was kind of brought because Heather Langenkamp, the original Nancy, was actually getting threats from a fan from the show. I think it was called Just the 10 of Us. Where oddly enough, there's like 4 daughters and 3 of them had been Freddy Krueger victims, but they were all on the show together. And so Wes Craven made this like joke about, or not a joke, but this relation to it, where everyone said how horror movies were going to, turn the kids bad and all that. And here's this wholesome show, Just the 10 of Us. And she's getting stalked for that. But that stalking incident is what made him come up with the concept for part 6, where Freddy comes in and starts terrorizing them in their real life.
So you're talking about Wes Craven's New Nightmare, right?
Yeah, that's 6, isn't it?
No, that's 7. 6 is Freddy's.
Yes, excuse me.
Oh yeah, how dare you fuck up? No, I love Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
That's a good one.
The idea of that movie, like you were just saying, like Freddy actually like haunting and attacking the people who were actually in the Nightmare movies was a fantastic idea. I loved it. It was
pretty abstract as well.
That middle finger's for Derek, not you guys.
Oh.
So,
that was
it's
pretty
called
good.
Doing research, man. Okay, if I don't watch all the stuff that I can, then I seem like I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, Derek.
You seem like me, that I don't like, because I don't ever have time to do research. So
this is a knowledge-based podcast, sir.
Hey, man, I'm just here because I'm a fan of horror. I don't have to know everything about it. That's your guys' job.
No, that wasn't directed towards you, Michelle. That was directed.
Oh, I already know I'm an idiot, so it's fine.
I don't even know. Seeing Freddy's Dead in the theater in 3D was a core thing in my childhood. I bet it was. That was the one. Oh wait. Oh, that was the one. Halfway through, you put on the 3D glasses.
That was Freddy's Dead, part 6. They did the 3D, the demons in part 6.
Oh, that's the one that had Billy Zane's sister in it, right? Yeah. Derek says, "Ha ha ha! I did it today too, man. 4 hours is long." I mean, when you're trying to encompass 9 films of one character, it can drag on 4 hours for sure. You're lucky.
Sure.
Well, that's the Camp Crystal Lake documentary is like 8 hours, isn't it?
Oh my God!
Cut into like 2 4-hour-long movies.
That's so wild.
It's like a weekend seminar.
Yeah.
If you guys had
to stay in the beach house.
If you guys had to pick favorite Freddy kills, like which is your favorite Freddy kill?
Ooh. My favorite one is just because the special effects was really cool and ridiculous, and awesome at the same time is in part 4 when the chick turns into a cockroach and then she's in the roach motel and her face gets stuck in the sticky stuff. She pulls it off and like her face comes off and she's a cockroach. So she's a cockroach from like the waist up, but then she's got human legs and then he's all looking in there and yeah.
That is a good one.
That is a good one.
I was thinking the puppet scene when he rips the tendons.
Oh, that's good too.
Tearing them.
Yeah, there's such unique kills. Is it's pretty cool about Freddy's kills.
Yeah. I honestly still am pretty partial to Johnny Depp's just because like the amount of blood, and after watching the documentary that Derek's talking about, which is called Never Sleep Again. It's on YouTube. You can watch it there. But they actually built a room that moved around, and when the blood, like when they flipped it upside down, when the blood hit the light fixture, the blood became electrified, and actually the dude who was pouring the blood got shocked.
Yeah, they moved a bunch of cameras filming that scene too.
Yeah.
You can read about that in Mick's book.
Oh yeah,
because he talks about how they did all those effects.
That's right. And it was really cool too, is I found out there was actually a deleted scene where after all the blood comes out and the bed settles down, Johnny Depp's character is supposed to like pop out dead and like flop over, but it was cut out for whatever reason. Alex says that scene is insane. It is. Luke says, "Hi guys, haven't seen one of those in a while." Luke, you didn't do your research.
Well, now he's going to be excited to go and watch it after this. He'll be like, "Oh God, I forgot about that. I have to go watch that now."
That's true.
See.
By the way, let me remind everyone, since we do got some viewers, we are doing a giveaway for a Ken Kirzinger signed 8x10. Stick around for our question. It's going to be one trivia question. The first person in the comments who gets it correct will win that 8x10. We'll ship it out. Well, Patty Krueger over there will ship that out to you if and when you win it.
Yeah, I will.
Definitely the Johnny Depp's one of my favorite kills. Definitely the ear one.
Ooh,
the Q-tip,
the hearing aid, or the Q. Yeah,
both actually.
Is that the same kill? I think that's the same kill.
Yeah, because remember he pulls them out and then he sticks the things in his ears.
Yeah, that one fucked with me.
I've always had a hard time with even Q-tipping my own ears. Like it gives me like this weird feeling and vertigo and shit. So watching that,
his head started pulsating around the ear. I was like, okay, that's pretty gnarly.
One of the scenes that they actually tried to pull off in that was putting Freddy Krueger's head on a naked woman's body. For that scene when I believe her name was Joey, and the nurse was trying to like sex him up, and they were showing like the production stills and everything of it, and it looks so ridiculous. It was like the hottest chick body you've ever seen, but with this big like oversized Freddy head. It was so weird.
I'm not in the mood anymore.
I was like, it looks so hot, but like then you're like, oh god damn it.
Well, he's like a,
which I actually thought was interesting. One of the
bag over his head.
Heather Langenkamp kept from the original Nightmare on Elm Street was the phone with Freddy's mouth on it.
Yes,
and she kept that. That was like one of the things she kept. And it was just funny because everyone was kind of like giving her a hard time because she like kind of made out with them in the movie. You know what I mean? Like, why'd you want to keep the tongue phone?
Did you do an interview where she like pulled it out like just randomly, like during the interview? Like I seem to remember an interview where I don't remember who was interviewing her, but like they're just going through asking questions, and then Heather just pulls out that weird ass phone and like starts talking. I was like, what the fuck? Where'd you get that?
Which is what was it too? That something that Miko Hughes, he was in The Dream Child, wasn't it? He played the little boy.
Yeah.
He had like
what number is that? 7?
5, isn't it?
5?
Yeah. He had a dinosaur teddy bear, and I guess at some point it had gotten slashed open by Freddy, and they repaired it, and he got to keep the repaired one. And then Wes Craven's like, the funny thing is I actually have the original one still in my house all these years later.
Nice. Rex.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Wes Craven, by the way.
Yes.
One of the things I thought was interesting too, I think it was from like between part 1 and part 2, they had slightly changed Freddy's look because they didn't have production stills of his original mask, and it was a different special effects team in the second one that did his mask. And Wes Craven was like, that was one of the things he had always regretted about between 1 and 2, and why he never changed Ghostface's face. He had always regretted that change between 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And they weren't even going to bring Robert Englund back for the second one. I guess he wanted more money.
That would have been a disaster.
Well, he wanted more money, and they were like, well, it's just a guy in a mask. Anyone can do it. And they had like a stunt guy do it for like 2 weeks. And they were like, this is a total
Like,
mistake.
no, this guy has zero charisma. Bye.
Could you imagine anyone else
with a new remake that anybody can play Freddy Krueger?
Well, what did you say the other night? Who did Robert Englund say he would want?
Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon. And we both agreed.
I would watch Kevin Bacon as Freddy Krueger.
Oh, hell yeah.
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah. It'd be cool if they did like the DC dark version of it, where maybe not like, what's that movie called? A Serbian film, get into the graphicness of that aspect of Freddy Krueger, but kind of go a little deeper into that and transition to like, part 1, like almost not like an origin story. We kind of know his origin story, but like something that just kind of like gets a little darker than what we've seen so far.
I feel like I would love to see that. And I actually bring on the hate mail. I actually really liked the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street that they did. The script was a little weak, but I loved how dark they got with it.
Was that the 2010
correct? Yeah.
Version?
People hated that movie. Absolutely trashed it, and which is fine. People like what they like. But it hit the more dark like origins and storyline of hate mail sent. Didn't you send the hate mail last time too?
Your email.
God damn.
That's who I've learned to accept it. I have a lot of really unpopular horror movie opinions.
That is okay. So do I.
Yeah, I but people trashed it. Robert Englund wasn't Freddy, so people hated it. Everybody's like, only Robert Englund can be Freddy. I don't think that's true. I think with the direction that they went with that remake, Robert Englund wouldn't have been good. He wasn't a dark enough Freddy to play the Freddy in the script that they wrote. I don't think
it wouldn't be his personality as the character.
Yeah, his Freddy is too lighthearted, and that script was dark as fuck because it really hit on the child molestation of that character. And I personally think Robert Englund would have fucked that role up. Yeah, I love Robert Englund. I think he's one of the best. I think he's one of the best horror people out there, but I think he would have fucked that role up. I don't think he would have nailed it. I think he thinks he would have.
I think that now having, for a lot of people, it's hard when you consistently see, like, to think of anyone playing Jason sometimes you can't get past Kane. Once Kane played him, people didn't want other people playing him. They had this idea of Kane as only Jason.
This is how it should be. Yeah.
Right. And with Freddy Krueger, it's 8 films of him as Robert Englund. And then you have this one-off where it's this other guy. And I just think that people have a hard time getting over that. But I wonder now if the fact that someone's kind of broken that bridge from Robert Englund, that if they were to make a new Nightmare, and let's say Englund wasn't involved, and they had Kevin Bacon or whoever, come in and do the role, if people would be more accepting of it now that John Earl Ray, whatever the hell the guy's name is, after he's done it, like maybe that transition would be a little easier now if it's written well and, filmed well.
Yeah. And I mean, Robert Englund, people say things all the time and go back on it, but Robert Englund has made it pretty clear that he's done with the role. I'm not playing it anymore. So it's just going to get to the point if anybody wants to see any more Nightmare on Elm Street movies,
It's gonna have to be someone else.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get over it. It's not gonna be Robert Englund, and that's fine. You know, he had his stint as Freddy Krueger, and he crushed it. And now it's time for somebody else to see what they can do with the role. But I want to talk about real quick, if it's okay, if we kind of rewind a little bit and go back into the earlier timeline and talk about how Freddy Krueger literally was probably the first, and I mean almost only to the level that he was at, like, I don't want to say pop icon, but I don't know how else to word it. I mean, Freddy Krueger in the 80s took over the world. I mean, he was one of the first horror characters to have his own toys. He had clothing line out there before any other horror character had clothing lines. And I'm talking mainstream stuff here. I'm not talking like, you know, mom and pop shops that do this. I'm talking mainstream. So, you know, you could walk into like a Target or something and see a Freddy Krueger shirt for the first time. He had a 1-900 number. So, I mean, Freddy Krueger was a video game, one of the first horror characters to have a video game. So, not only was Freddy Krueger like iconic in the movie industry and with amongst horror fans, he was iconic amongst every industry and amongst horror fans and non-horror fans alike.
Everybody knew who he was.
Kids for the like one of the first horror movies that was marketed towards kids as well. That 1-900 number was a kids marketed like 900 number for kids to call and talk to Freddy Krueger. Right. So I think that alone kind of opened the door for the horror industry to kind of grow and blossom and hit other aspects and introduce to people who probably would have never watched a horror movie in their life, but they're seeing this character as a toy while they're walking down the aisles of Fred Meyer or whatnot, you know, buying it for their kids.
Well, I think a lot of that lends to the fact that he was the slasher that spoke, and being that he had a light, kind of hearted, comical, you know, sensibility about him, he was easily marketable. I believe he even had like a Pepsi commercial or something like that.
He had a bunch of commercials.
See, I don't think that would fly nowadays, having like a character of a child molester like being targeted towards young, you know.
Well, I feel like the franchise has done really well about, although touching on it at times, kind of remaining away.
Yeah, but I mean, if it came out like in like the 2020s, it would probably be received differently if it was done the same way.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think it like was a little easier to fly back then because, like Vlad was just saying, up until later in the franchise, they kind of don't really talk about that side of Freddy. They just talk about, you know, how the parents killed him. You know, oh, the parents did this, and so now all their kids are cursed. But it's not until like I think 5. I know they talk about it in 6. I think they might touch it in 5. But in 6, there's a lot of flashback scenes in Freddy's Dead where you see him in his like shed in the backyard making his cool kill toys, and they hint at the child molestation. I don't think they hammer it home until the remake in 2010. And in the remake in 2010, they shove that shit in your face. They're like, yeah, this dude fucking molested children. And they went really dark with it.
Yeah, it's one of the probably worst origin stories for any of the killers. Well, because if you think about it, like Jason becomes Jason because he witnessed his mom's head get cut off. Leatherface is a product of his environment. You know what I mean? Like you look at all these other like horror movie villains, and they were kind of made that way for some reason or another. Like Freddy Krueger is just a bad person, like all around. You know what I mean? So
he's a bad guy. He's the boogeyman.
Even though he's funny and shit, like you kind of. But one of the other things I was going to say too about the popularity of Fred Krueger was, I like if you remember correctly, Jason Voorhees went on Arsenio Hall, and he was
I saw that.
And it was Kane Hodder, and he was just sitting there the whole time, and Arsenio Hall was busting out these little one-lines at him, and Hodder was just sitting there. And it was like, then you fast forward over to like a Freddy Krueger commercial, and he's wearing sunglasses and drinking Pepsi, and like that was the difference between the characters. You know what I mean? Like why he was so marketable. And not only that, but then you guys can, and anyone in this watching this right now can attest to this. How many times have you heard people in public confuse Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees?
Not every
time, unless they're horror people, they mix those two up. No one has ever mixed up Freddy Krueger with anyone else.
Right.
You know exactly who he is, you know? And I think setting himself that apart is what really made him, you know, also that marketable.
He's memorable is
exactly,
why.
Exactly. Not that Jason and Michael aren't, they're terrifying.
Yeah, but he was memorable for because he was something different.
Right. Yeah. People tend to, when they think of the Gremlins, they remember, you know, the one with the mohawk, not Gizmo typically, because he was the one that was like terrifying and grabbing at you that way.
Right.
Bring on the hate mail. Freddy vs. Jason is the best. This is my truck wrap. I'm assuming on Facebook he posted a picture of his truck wrap. Actually, Derek, if you send me the picture on Facebook, I can throw it up because we could show everybody.
Well, Derek, if that's your favorite one, then hopefully you know the answer to our question. And
as a matter of fact, you guys want to just do that now? Should we just do the trivia question now?
Yeah, let's fucking do it.
All right, here it is, everybody. Trivia question. Oh wait, we got to pull old boy's comment off. All right, so here's our trivia question, everyone. Patrick, you want to give us a read for us?
Oh, me? Yeah, sure. Tonight's question: the line from Jason versus Freddy, "How sweet dark meat," is a homage to the line "How sweet fresh meat" from which previous Nightmare on Elm Street film? First person to put the correct answer in the chat gets this lovely 8x10 free of charge.
Signed by Ken Kersinger.
It is signed and Beckett authenticated.
There you go.
I don't know if you could see that because the words glare, but there is a little Beckett authentication here, something right there.
You know what I do love though is that Kane Hodder actually wore the Freddy glove in a scene in a movie.
Oh yeah, which one? And what? Wait, what?
You know in Freddy, what is it? Freddy's Dead, where he grabs
the mask. When it brings the mask down.
That's actually Kane Hodder's hand in the Freddy glove.
Oh, that's I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I need to get a Freddy glove signed by Kane Hodder. Then that's fucking sick.
Here, he said he sent me some pictures. Hold on.
Nobody's answering your question.
Well, they're probably looking up the answers. The Kane Hodder I have is on a Texas 3-piece, actually. Oh, he sent 4 photos. God damn it.
I gotta see these.
Yeah, I'm gonna give me just a sec. I got you, girl. Oh wait.
Are you gonna post them on here?
Yeah.
Is that really a wrap that he has on his truck?
Yeah, it is. He takes it to conventions. It's pretty badass. You guys are gonna be blown away.
Do you does it wear the wrap all the time or just to conventions?
All the time.
Oh.
I think that's under. There we go. No brand.
Do.
Scooby Doopy Wah.
So should we touch up on some? We've got some blank space here.
Wait. We got and it's signed by Doug Tate. Here I'm gonna throw up. We're gonna look at his truck. Actually, here's one photograph.
Oh, look at that.
You can see Jason Voorhees there.
It's pretty nice.
On the side and on the back tailgate. This is it all lit up. Oh, actually, here, let me take this down while we look at these. Yeah. So you got Jason there.
Beautiful.
You got Elm Street with the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's got a pretty truck.
Got a nice photo shoot there.
Jealous.
Right.
That's
all
awesome.
Right, has anybody answered this question yet?
Not yet. We're still waiting. So the trivia question is, the line from Jason versus Freddy, "How sweet dark meat," is an homage to the line "How sweet fresh meat" from which previous Nightmare on Elm Street film? She said, and the license plate. What did I miss? Boop. Oh, Nightmare. Oh. You slick son of a bitch, you.
You slick son of a bitch.
You slick son
Nice.
of a gun. That's sweet. Nightmare. Yep. Yeah, it's a badass looking truck.
Okay. Well, why don't we just
Why don't we just what?
I was gonna say, why don't we just like move on until somebody like throws something out there? But I think
Well, we
Alex
are
might be
gonna move
throwing
on.
something out there.
That's what we're doing.
I don't want to move on. I want to stay right the fuck here.
We're going nowhere until someone gets it right.
Well, let's talk about Freddy versus Jason, because I actually really enjoyed that movie. It took a really long time to come out. We were teased about it at the end of Jason Goes to Hell, where I just learned that was Kane Hodder that brings down the mask.
Pulled his own
and
mask.
40 years later, we finally got Freddy versus Jason, and I was not disappointed. There was some horror fan hatred for that movie, for lack of better terms, I guess. But I wasn't disappointed. I thought they did a really good job.
Haven't seen it.
Oh,
You haven't seen Freddy vs. Jason?
No, I haven't.
Oh my
that movie.
gosh.
I don't
I
know. I have some trepidation, I think, because I was afraid it was gonna suck, and I didn't want to be disappointed. And
I thought it was
then I just never watched it.
I thought it was
Just
really
forgot about
interesting how Freddy brought back Jason by wasn't he like killing kids in like Crystal Lake or something like that, or he was doing something at Crystal Lake which brought Jason back, and then Jason, he's like, go get my kids in Elm Street or make them remember.
He ended up getting into my video went away. Can you hear me? He ended up getting into Jason's head and manipulating Jason through it was kind of nightmares, and used Jason as a puppet to kill people so he could get stronger and come back. So it was a pretty cool premise. I liked it. I thought they did a pretty good job. Was it perfect? No, not really, but it was good.
Alex Carlson says, I'm just going to throw this guess. I've only seen a couple of Nightmare on Elm Street films. Part 3 is my guess. Unfortunately, you're wrong, Alex. No, it's not part 3. Good try. Good try.
That was a good guess, though.
That was a good guess. I liked how they did the whole fire and water kind of fight scene between them.
Yeah.
Obviously Freddy burnt to death, Jason drowned to death. It was a cool juxtaposition between the two. Oh yeah, that's right. Freddy pretends to be his mother. That's how he got Jason back. That's right. Don't be sad. Guess again. No one's won yet. But I liked how they did that kind of like yin and yang, fire and water, fight scene between them. I thought that was really clever. Obviously for the two reasons.
I got into a debate with somebody when the movie came out because they were like, that was so stupid. Jason Voorhees has never been scared of water before, and I was like, kind of drowned in it. I feel like that would, maybe add some fear. They were like, there's nothing that connects him to the fear of water, and I was like, okay, I'm done with
except for drowning. That doesn't cause a fear of water.
For everything of his origin story. So I'm done with this conversation. Let's move on.
One of the things, a little backstory to that movie too, was I can't remember her first name. It's something Isabella. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Catherine Isabella, yeah.
Yeah, like they in her contract, she doesn't do nudity, and we actually got a winner. But let me finish this story real quick. In that movie, in her contract, she has a clause where she doesn't do nudity, and they were signed off on that. But the entire time that movie was being filmed, the director kept trying to convince her to do a nude scene, and so she hated the whole filming of that.
Yeah, she doesn't do nudity at all. Like even in American Mary, where she takes like a part-time stripper job and she does body modifications, and there is scenes where you think Catherine Isabella would be naked. She's not. Like,
Right.
and I actually really love that about her. Like, she completely sticks to her guns, right? And there's nothing wrong with actresses that want to get actresses or actors that want to get nude in a movie. But I love the fact that, like how you just pointed out in Freddy vs. Jason, they were like kind of like pushing her to do it, and she kind of was just like, "Oh, fuck off," and she stuck to her guns.
Yeah.
And she's that kind of person. She just sticks to that kind of shit all the time. She's not manipulated at all. And as a woman in horror, you really need to stick to your guns when you have those kind of convictions, because, I mean, let's face it, horror is full of nudity, and when you're a female in horror, it almost kind of feels like some directors expect you to get naked. And I just love that she's just like, no, fuck you. I'm not doing this.
So, as an answer to our question in the trivia, the line from the Jason vs. Freddy, "How sweet dark meat," is an homage to the line, "How sweet fresh meat," from which previous Nightmare on Elm Street film. Derek Winsky says part 4.
And Derek Winsky is correct.
Dun, 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 dun. I don't have my cowbell in here. God damn it.
So, Derek, congratulations.
Derek, shoot your address to the Zompire Horde message, like DMs, and I will get this beautiful 8x10 sign shipped out to you ASAP.
Facebook user was just a little bit too late, but thank you for your answer. Well, congratulations, Derek.
Yeah.
I mean,
you got the prize.
The truck is wrapped in Freddy vs. Jason shit. He should have got it right a long fucking time ago. He was probably giving everyone else like a little, chance.
Yeah.
And also in research of this, one of my favorite actresses is Linnea Quigley. Everyone knows her from Return of the Living Dead. I have Derek's address, but go ahead. So I'll just send it to you. But I found out, I think it was in Dream Master, they did that scene where Freddy's chest is ripped open and all the souls are bouncing, and you see a nice real set of knockers. That's actually Linnea Quigley.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I didn't know she was ever involved with any of the nightmares. I know her from a lot of
literally the only thing she did in that movie.
Yeah. She was just a pair of boobies inside.
Hey, man.
Actually, the funny thing too is while they were filming that, so they had built this, huge bust of Freddy Krueger, and his shirt was ripped open, and they had some sort of like semi-cleary, yellowed, rubbery stuff. And so all these people were like pushing on against it and everything. Well, it wasn't all that secure, and the whole thing fell forward with all the actors and stagehands. There was wires like breaking off and shit, and they all fell down. Well, the woman that was standing in front of it was a small Asian, like 60-year-old woman who was like doing one of the things, so it all landed on her. She was fine, no reported injuries. But so I guess the reason why he was Derek, instead of paying attention to the podcast, was busy playing Call of Duty, which he shouldn't be playing till 10 o'clock tonight with me.
Hey, man, you watch football.
Hey, the funny thing, almost every night of the week, him and I play Call of Duty together.
Oh, really?
For about 2 hours, yeah.
Okay, then you get a pass.
So he's sitting there he's grinding out games without me right now. I'm a little bummed out.
Aww.
Not go Freddy Krueger his ass. But yeah, no, that's all I got for the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. What do you guys think? Do you have anything else you want to add?
I don't have anything to add except for I really liked part 4. I think that's out of the 5 that I've seen. I like that one and the first one. So if you guys care which ones I like.
It's funny though too how many people got starts doing Nightmare on Elm Street films. Johnny Depp, Patricia Arquette. A lot of people really got their first like roles doing those movies.
Yeah, same thing with Friday the 13th. A lot of
people, got Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
You also got Johnny Depp there too.
So what do you guys want to do next week? Should we come up with some ideas and put up a poll, or what are you guys thinking?
Our polls don't ever really nothing really happens with our polls. So
It's true. We
I don't
need
know.
people to be more active in the group to like, get people participating and going.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll think of something.
Yeah, don't put me on the spot, man. I don't think.
Yeah, I'm not good at that.
Wasn't the teacher in part of the last from Insidious? Yes. I can't remember her name. Wait, the teacher from the last one. No, I'm thinking of the other one that was in the
teacher
from. Someone says do the Candyman films. I don't know. I kind of feeling a true crime episode. Have we done Gacy?
We have not done Gacy.
No, Gacy. That would fit too because he was teased in the Dahmer show, and we just did Dahmer. So
it kind of would be the day after Christmas. Maybe we should do the Silent Night, Deadly Night series.
Ooh.
Or Black Christmas.
Ooh. Well, we just talked about Christmas horror, and we did touch on those quite a bit already.
Yeah, I brought up Silent Night, Deadly Night franchise quite a bit in that episode.
We haven't done Chucky or The Conjuring.
Alex, Chucky series.
I haven't watched the Chucky series though. Is it good?
What? I haven't seen the series. I've just seen the movies.
Dude, Gigi Allen. That would be a fun episode, actually.
Gigi Allen.
Yeah, dude, maybe Child's Play. That would be a fun episode.
It could be fun.
Someone says the Chucky series sucks.
Oh,
wait, series as in all the movies, or series as in the TV show? Facebook.
I think they mean the TV series.
I feel like that's a TV series.
Love that TV show.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out and see if it's any good. Have you guys watched that new one Wednesday?
Yeah, I'm not done with it. We're watching it right now.
Okay. I haven't had any time.
I finished that season. It's actually really good. If you like, kind of like.
I've heard from everybody that it is really good.
You just got to go into it without all right. So let me just tell you what bothered. Actually, all right.
Go ahead.
It won't be next week because he's not done watching it. You haven't seen anything. The thing that bothers me the most about that is Catherine Zeta-Jones. One, Morticia Addams would never wear hoop fucking earrings ever. And that was one of my biggest things about the Munsters movie was like there was shit that she had on that like Lily Munster would have never worn in her lifetime. Yeah. And I don't know why that shit jumps out at me, but like as soon as I saw those hoop earrings, it just pulled me right out of the Addams Family shit. Like, ain't no fucking way in a million years you're gonna get me being as old as I am, watching that show as much as I did, gonna make me fucking believe that Morticia Addams is wearing hoop earrings.
Yeah,
she had more class than that.
No, I'm with you on that one. I'm with you on that. I do have a gripe about the show too. I absolutely love the show. I think it's really good, but I have a gripe about it too. But I think it would be a spoiler alert, so I'm not gonna mention it tonight. We can do an episode on the show if you want. But yeah, there's one thing about the show that kind of doesn't sit right with me, especially since I know who's creative behind the show, so it doesn't sit well with me. But other than that, it's really good.
By the way, if you haven't checked out Cabin 13, Dale down there from Cabin 13, they make a lot of really, really cool stuff. They're like hand carved magnets, figures, and stuff like that. So if you haven't, anyone who's watching, if you haven't checked out Cabin 13, this is a plug for them because they do really, really excellent work. And maybe I'll have to do a little exit video advertising. I'll get Dale about it. They're really, really good company. They used to make stuff. I can't remember who it was for. But they used to make stuff for a mystery box company. And they are on their own now, but they do really, really rad shit. I have a bunch of their stuff around here. So we'll have to do a plug for them one of these times coming up.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds great.
Well, I see Chucky coming up a lot. Let's go ahead and do Child's Play next week. I feel like that's something we've all watched enough of. You can catch up on a movie or two that's not like an insane series. You know, it's going to take hours to investigate.
I'm on board.
So next week's Child's Play. Sound good?
Okay. Sounds great.
Let everybody know to keep your ears peeled for the future. the crew and I have some really cool interviews lined up that we're working on.
That's right.
So we've got some cool guests lined up coming in the near future. So keep posted.
Yeah, no spoilers quite yet.
Some big names. And with that, we thank you for tuning in. This is the Zompire Podcast, locally on your 66.6 on your AM dial. This week's episode is brought to you by Body Scare. All natural body care products so good, they're scary.
What's going on?